The flames that consumed Jacques de Molay were meant to erase the Knights Templar from memory. Yet, instead of dying, their story only grew more powerful. Though the order was dissolved, whispers claimed that not all of their secrets, wealth, or knowledge had been captured. Some believed the Templars escaped with hidden treasure, vanishing into the shadows of Europe. Others swore that their ships sailed from France under cover of night, carrying relics and secrets across the seas, perhaps even to the New World. In the centuries that followed, legends multiplied. Secret societies were said to have risen from the ashes of the Templars, preserving their wisdom and symbols in hidden brotherhoods. The Freemasons, the Rosicrucians, and countless others were linked to the order, their rituals echoing whispers of the Templar legacy. Even today, monuments, churches, and ancient sites bear marks that many claim are remnants of their code, but perhaps the most haunting part of their story is the treasure said to be hidden still. The Holy Grail, the Ark of the Covenant, sacred scrolls of forgotten knowledge, are they myths, or could the Templars have truly safeguarded them? The answer remains buried in the shadows, waiting for discovery. Though kings destroyed their bodies, and popes condemned their name, the Knights Templar became immortal in legend. They are remembered not only as warriors of faith, but as guardians of secrets, symbols of defiance, and keepers of mysteries that time itself could not erase. Their brotherhood may have vanished, but their shadow stretches across centuries, reminding us that some stories can never truly die. The untold story of the Knights Templar lives on, etched in history, myth, and the imagination of all who dare to seek the truth. The arrests of 1307 were only the beginning. King Philip IV, determined to erase the Templars from history, placed their leaders on trial. Among them was the Grand Master, Jacques de Molay, a man who had led the order with courage and faith. Dragged before inquisitors, he and his brothers were accused of heresy, devil worship, and crimes too dark for the people to ignore, but the truth was far more sinister. Under relentless torture, many knights were forced to confess to lies, their words twisted into weapons against the order. Some denied Christ, others admitted to strange rituals, statements wrung from broken bodies desperate for relief. These confessions gave Philip exactly what he needed: justification to crush the Templars once and for all. The Pope, pressured by the French crown, dissolved the order in 1312. Lands were seized, wealth scattered, and centuries of honor erased with a stroke of the pen. But not all bowed quietly. Jacques de Molay, defiant to the end, stood upon the execution pyre in Paris. With flames rising around him, he proclaimed his innocence and called upon God to judge both King Philip and Pope Clement for their betrayal. According to legend, his dying words carried a curse. Within a year, both the king and the pope were dead, struck down in what many believed was divine retribution. The fall of the Templars was complete, but the curse of their Grand Master ensured their enemies found no peace. The trials silenced their voices, but they could not extinguish their legend. The Templars had vanished from the stage of history, yet their shadow lingered, mysterious, haunting, and eternal. By the late 13th century, the Templars had reached the height of their power. Their castles stretched across Europe, their coffers overflowed with wealth, and their influence reached even the throne of kings. Yet the tides of history were turning against them. The Crusader states in the Holy Land were collapsing, Jerusalem was lost, and the dream of Christian dominion in the East was fading. Without victories to justify their existence, questions began to rise. Why did the Templars still hold so much power? The answer was simple: money. Kings who once relied on the order now found themselves drowning in debt to it. Chief among them was King Philip IV of France, known as Philip the Fair. Ambitious, ruthless, and desperate for gold, Philip saw the Templars not as protectors of Christendom but as obstacles standing between him and absolute control. He owed the Knights a fortune, and their power rivaled his own. He devised a plan both cunning and brutal. With whispers of heresy already spreading, Philip fanned the flames of suspicion. He accused the Templars of blasphemy, idol worship, and secret pagan rites. To the common people, already mystified by the order's secrecy, these accusations seemed believable. How could men so rich, so powerful, and so secretive truly serve only God? On Friday, October 13, 1307, Philip struck. Across France, the Templars were arrested in a single night. Their lands were seized, their wealth confiscated, and their brothers dragged to dungeons. Under torture, many confessed to crimes they had never committed, their bodies broken by the king's cruelty. The once mighty Templars, feared by armies and honored by popes, were now branded as heretics and criminals. The fall of favor had begun, and the greatest brotherhood of knights the world had ever known was about to face its darkest hour. As the years passed, the Templars became more than warriors of Christ, they became a living symbol of divine authority. Their white mantles, marked with the blood-red cross, struck awe into the hearts of allies and terror into the souls of enemies. In every crusade, they stood at the front lines, charging with fearless resolve, willing to die for their oath. Stories spread of Templars fighting until the last breath, refusing to surrender, and choosing death over dishonor, but their reputation went beyond courage. Whispers suggested the knights possessed rituals unknown to ordinary Christians, secret initiations, vows taken in darkened chambers, and words spoken in languages long forgotten. To the faithful, these ceremonies bound them closer to God. To skeptics, they hinted at heresy, fueling rumors that the Templars held mysteries not meant for the common man. Their power spread like wildfire across Europe. Vast estates, castles, and commanderies rose under their banner. Pilgrims sought their protection, nobles pledged land to them, and even kings bowed to their influence. The Templars were now more than soldiers, they were rulers in their own right, untouchable and answerable only to the Pope. Yet, with every rise comes a shadow. Jealousy grew among monarchs who borrowed heavily from the order. Rumors of their secret rituals and hidden treasures sowed doubt. The people admired them, but many also feared them. And fear, in the hands of the ambitious, would soon be forged into a weapon. The Knights Templar had become too powerful, too mysterious, and too feared. And in a world ruled by greed and suspicion, such power could never remain unchallenged. While the Knights Templar rose to fame as warriors and protectors, whispers of hidden knowledge followed them wherever they went. Their headquarters in Jerusalem was no ordinary residence. It was built upon the ancient site of Solomon's Temple, a place believed to hold relics, sacred scriptures, and treasures lost to time. Pilgrims spoke in hushed tones about strange activities at night, torches glowing beneath the ruins, secret tunnels being dug, and guarded chambers that no outsider ever entered. Legends soon spread that the Templars had uncovered secrets buried deep beneath the Holy Temple. Some claimed they discovered ancient scrolls containing forbidden wisdom. Others believed they found the Ark of the Covenant, the chest said to hold God's presence and unimaginable power. There were even whispers of the Holy Grail, the cup of Christ, being hidden away under their watch. Whether truth or myth, the Templars never spoke of what they unearthed. Silence only fueled the mystery. This secrecy became their greatest weapon. While their enemies fought with swords, the Templars held knowledge that could shift the balance of power. It is said that their rituals, their coded symbols, and their strange prayers hinted at something beyond ordinary faith, something connected to ancient traditions, mathematics, and sacred geometry. Were they simply Knights of Christ, or had they become guardians of something far older, far more dangerous? Whatever the truth, one thing was certain: their discoveries gave them an aura of divine power. Kings feared offending them, for to defy the Templars was to risk challenging not only warriors but also keepers of God's hidden mysteries. And so, their legend grew, not only as knights of the battlefield, but as guardians of secrets that could change the fate of the world. With their humble beginnings rooted in vows of poverty, the Knights Templar soon became far more than simple guardians of pilgrims. The Church, impressed by their devotion and courage, granted them privileges unlike any other order. They answered only to the Pope himself, beyond the authority of kings, lords, or bishops. This independence gave them a freedom no knightly brotherhood had ever possessed. As the Crusades raged on, the Templars transformed into an unstoppable force on the battlefield. They rode into war with unmatched discipline, forming deadly cavalry charges that broke through enemy lines with terrifying precision. Warriors clad in white mantles, their red crosses gleaming under the desert sun, became a symbol of divine wrath. To their allies, they were protectors chosen by God. To their enemies, they were the angels of death, but their power was not only forged with the sword. The Templars began to master the art of finance and trade. Pilgrims traveling from Europe to the Holy Land entrusted their wealth to the knights, who created one of the earliest forms of banking. A pilgrim could deposit gold in London and withdraw its value in Jerusalem, safeguarded by the order. Through this system, the Templars accumulated vast wealth, lands, and influence across Europe. Castles rose in their name, from the shores of England to the sands of Syria. Soon, their reach extended beyond battlefields. Kings borrowed money from them, nobles relied on them, and merchants trusted their network. The Templars became a bridge between faith and fortune, wielding both the sword of war and the power of gold. This dual strength made them untouchable, feared, admired, and envied by rulers across Christendom. Yet, as history has always shown, with great power comes great danger. The seeds of jealousy and suspicion had already been planted. While the Templars grew in wealth and influence, shadows gathered around them, shadows that would one day rise to bring about their downfall. The year was 1119. Europe was trembling after the bloody waves of the Crusades, and Jerusalem, newly captured by Christian forces, stood at the center of both faith and fear. Pilgrims from across the continent poured into the Holy Land, seeking redemption, miracles, and glory. But the roads to the sacred city were far from safe. Bandits lurked in the deserts, assassins waited in the shadows, and the dream of reaching Jerusalem often ended in blood. It was in this chaos that a small band of knights made a vow unlike any other. Led by Hugues de Payens, these 9 men swore an oath of poverty, chastity, and obedience, not to a king, not to a noble, but to God himself. They became protectors of the pilgrims, guardians of the road, and warriors of faith. They wore simple white mantles, marked only by a blood-red cross, a symbol that would strike both hope and fear into the hearts of all who saw it. At first, they were few, hardly noticed by the mighty rulers of Christendom. But soon whispers spread. These knights were not ordinary warriors. They fought with a fire in their hearts, a discipline that seemed unshakable, and a loyalty that made them unstoppable. Kings and nobles began to take notice, and the Church itself extended its blessing. Within years, the Knights Templar rose from obscurity to become one of the most powerful orders in the medieval world. Their home was no ordinary fortress. Granted quarters on the very site of Solomon's Temple in Jerusalem, they became known as the poor fellow soldiers of Christ and the Temple of Solomon, the Knights Templar. But behind those sacred walls, questions lingered. What were they searching for? Why did they spend nights digging beneath the ruins? And what secret treasures, or forbidden knowledge, did they uncover? The birth of the Templars was not just the beginning of a holy brotherhood. It was the opening of a mystery that would echo across centuries, entangling kings, popes, and secret societies yet to come. Hidden beneath the pages of history lies a brotherhood shrouded in secrecy, the legendary Knights Templar. For centuries, they have been portrayed as holy warriors, guardians of sacred relics, and keepers of unfathomable wealth. But what if their true story was far more mysterious, far more dangerous than we were ever taught? Imagine an order so powerful that kings feared them, popes envied them, and empires conspired to destroy them. They were warriors, bankers, explorers, and perhaps even custodians of ancient secrets that could rewrite everything we know about history. From the bloody battlefields of the Crusades to hidden vaults whispered to contain the Holy Grail itself, the Templars' journey is one of courage, betrayal, and mysteries that still haunt us today. In this series, we'll peel back the layers of myth to uncover the forbidden truths, the rise of their empire, the shocking downfall that turned them into fugitives, and the chilling possibility that their legacy lives on in secret societies even now. This isn't just a story of knights, it's a story of hidden knowledge, forbidden power, and a mystery that continues to echo across the centuries. Stay with me, because what you're about to hear may change the way you see history forever.